You're watching the big story on Mirror Now. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines. After convict Indrani Mukerjea's medical reports confirm blunt injuries to her body, Women's Commission visits Byculla jail to investigate into the events that transpired on the night of the 23rd of June.
हम कैसे हड़प रहे हैं? डॉक्टर को मार दें, अकस्मात हो जाए, ड्राइवर को मार दें, गाय के नाम पर इंसान को मार दें।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi breaks his silence on the spree of fatal attacks in the name of Gaurakshak, sends out a strong message, says killing in the name of Gaurakshaks is completely unacceptable. Another case of cow vigilantism, this time down south. Massive clashes break out in Tamil Nadu after a pro-Hindu group seizes a truck carrying calves. Police forced to resort to lathi charge to control the situation. And Mirror Now's relentless coverage forces the Haryana police to act. The 5 arrested in the Ballabgarh lynching case produced in court. 4 suspects remanded to 2 days in police custody. And a big embarrassment for the Modi government's Swachh Bharat campaign. Union Minister for Agriculture Radha Mohan Singh seen urinating in public, images go viral. And political slugfest ahead of the GST rollout after DMK and TMC. Congress decides not to attend the GST session. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley says a symbolic boycott will hurt the Indian economy. And it is a mega Mirror Now impact. BMC chief has finally taken note of our relentless coverage and has blacklisted 6 contractors for 7 years who failed to make the city of Mumbai rain ready. Straight up to a big story today, stripped, assaulted and murdered in jail. We're talking about the case of the 38-year-old convict Majula Shette. Now, the latest update in the murder of 38-year-old Majula Shette in Mumbai's Byculla jail. A case has been filed under IPC 302 and IPC 34 against the 6 suspended jail officials. Meanwhile, based on a preliminary report by the district magistrate, the Maharashtra Women's Commission has ruled out any sexual assault on Majula Shette, the inmate who was murdered in the Byculla jail, all for 2 boiled eggs and 5 pieces of pav. In fact, we have Richa Sharma who's been tracking the story, getting us more details now. Richa, tell us, so far there have been a lot of consensus on what exactly happened on the night of the 23rd of June. But the latest update, of course, is that the Women's Commission has now gone ahead and said that there was no form of sexual assault.
That's right, Amita. Today morning, while addressing the media, the Women's Commission head categorically stated that after they met with the DIG of jail, who had come to meet the Women's Commission today morning, after they were being summoned and a suo motu notice was issued to them, stating to conduct a state of affairs and inform them about the heinous act of crime and death that happened on a jail inmate by the name of Majula Shette. They categorically stated that the report that they received from the district magistrate does not state that Majula Shette suffered from any kind of sexual assault, and all her organs in her body are intact, and only the physical assault part can be highlighted from the preliminary post-mortem reports that have come out.
Richa, take us through what exactly happened on the night of the 23rd of June.
Amita, we start from the very beginning. On the morning of Friday last week, Majula Shette had a minor tiff with the guard and also the jail magistrate, who summoned her after there were 2 eggs and a few pieces of bread missing and it is to be noted that she was the warden. She was appointed as the Majula Shette was appointed as the warden. So she had the duty of actually distributing a lot of these food items, and when it was found that 2 of these items were missing, she was summoned, she was called, she was first reprimanded for it, and then started the brutality allegedly by these 6 officials, including one of them being the jail magistrate. And she was dragged, she was pulled, she was even stripped, allegedly, according to the FIR that was filed, and the complaint and the statement given by a co-inmate who was present to actually witness the ordeal of what had happened with Manjula Shette. And she succumbed to her injuries by evening, and when she arrived at JJ hospital, that's where she was declared dead.
Also, Richa, we must point out the fact that in this case there is a high-profile convict as well, Indrani Mukerjea, who is involved in allegedly instigating protests the night after that, of course. But also tell us now, she has gone on to claim that she has witnessed this as well, and she also moved court, saying that she was also assaulted.
Yes, Amita, a day after the inmates found out that about the death of their co-inmate Manjula Shette, an uproar and an agitation of a sort had actually occurred within the Byculla jail premises, where about more than 200 of these women started protesting. A riot kind of a situation was created, and one of the high-profile inmates being Indrani Mukerjea, she actually categorically stated, and through a application that was sent to the special CBI court who are handling her case and under whose custody she currently is, that's where she recorded her statement yesterday, going to the court and stating that she was in fact witness to the crime, the heinous crime that happened on Manjula Shette on Friday. And she also heard a lot of cry of pains from Manjula. She saw that she was being pulled by her hair and a sari being tied around her neck, and she herself stated, showing her wounds, that she was also physically assaulted by these officers, both male and female, within the jail premises after a lathi charge was summoned by the jail magistrate.
Richa, before we let you go, also quickly take us through what is going to happen going forward. Now, of course, we understand that a special investigation team will be formed to investigate this case.
Yes, absolutely, Amita. Now that the State Women's Commission have intervened, they visited the jail today. Now they are going to set up a special SIT team where 3 members will be appointed by this Women's Commission, one of them being an ex-judge, one of them being a ex-police official, and also a woman from an NGO who will investigate into the matter, start questioning a number of inmates within the jail premises, and also kind of conduct an internal inquiry in this whole case, giving a report to the Women's Commission after that. And apart from this, the jail authorities, the DIG who met with the head of the Women's Commission today, have also been asked to submit their inquiry report with the Women's Commission within 15 days of time.
All right, Richa, many thanks for joining us with more details. In fact, we have Vijaya Rahatkar, chairperson of the Maharashtra State Commission for Women, joining us on the phone line. Ms. Rahatkar, आप ये बता दीजिए, अभी स्पेशल इन्वेस्टिगेशन टीम बनाया जाएगा इस केस को इन्वेस्टिगेट करने के लिए?
जी बिल्कुल बनाया जाएगा. इस केस के ऊपर हमारा बहुत गंभीरता से ध्यान है, और हमने इसके लिए एक SIT का गठन कमीशन के अंदर किया है, जिसमें से 3 लोग रहेंगे, अध्यक्षता करेंगे हाई कोर्ट के रिटायर्ड जस्टिस, उसी के साथ साथ वैसे ही पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट के रिटायर्ड IPS अधिकारी, और NGO की एक महिला इसको रिप्रेजेंट करेगी. इस तरह की हमने SIT का गठन इसमें कर दिया है.
ऑल्सो मिस राहतकर, आप बता दीजिए, इंक्वायरी रिपोर्ट भी सबमिट किया जाएगा अगले 15 दिन में?
हाँ, हमें इसके साथ साथ हमने जेल अथॉरिटी को ये भी कहा है कि स्टेट में जितने भी जेल है उसमें कितनी महिला कैदी रहती है, उनकी क्या स्थिति है, उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए आपने क्या क्या उपाय योजना करी है, उसी के साथ साथ उनके खाने पीने के साथ साथ उनके साथ व्यवहार कैसे होता है, इन सब चीज़ों की एक डिटेल रिपोर्ट वो कमीशन को सबमिट करे। ये हमने उनको 15 दिन में सबमिट करने के लिए बोला है।
Also, Ms. Radkar, the mystery also revolves around what exactly happened on that fateful night. In the post-mortem report, of course, it says that there are about 11 to 13 contusions on her body with a blunt object in her lungs, head and private parts were damaged. तो आपने already बताया है कि sexual assault नहीं हुआ है, तो क्या basis पे ये तय किया गया है?
नहीं, हमारे पास जो रिपोर्ट आज सबमिट किया गया है, पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट जो आई है उसमें उनको इंजरी हुई है ये बताया है, पर उसके बारे में कोई डिटेल्स नहीं है। डिटेल पोस्टमार्टम की रिपोर्ट अभी हमारे हाथ में आई नहीं है। पर इसके अलावा जो इनक्वेस्ट रिपोर्ट जो होता है, जो पंचनामा रिपोर्ट जो तबका होता है, वो रिपोर्ट हमें आज दिया गया है, जिसमें लिखा गया है कि उनके साथ ऐसा कोई बर्ताव नहीं हुआ है, ऐसा कोई उनको दिखाई नहीं दिया गया है। अब हम डिटेल पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट का वेट कर रहे हैं।
Also, do comment on the fact that this entire case has come to light because of the high-profile convict Indrani Mukerjea in this case, who went on to allegedly instigate the protests that took place a couple of days later.
जी, उन्होंने भी आज हमारे साथ, आज जब मैं भायखला जेल में मैं गई थी तब उन्होंने भी कुछ बातें हमारे सामने रखी है। उनके साथ साथ बाकी महिलाओं ने भी बातें हमारे सामने रखी है। आज जेल की विजिट के साथ साथ मैंने इन सभी कैदियों के साथ बात करी है और उसी के साथ साथ जो भी प्रशासन है जेल का, उनके साथ भी बात करी है। मुझे लगता है कि SIT जो हमने गठन करी है ये पूरा अपना काम करेगी और जो ट्रूथ है वो हमारे सामने जल्दी आ जाएगा।
All right, Mr. Hatkar, thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now. They're very clearly pointing out that a special investigation team will be formed and an inquiry report will be submitted within the next 15 days. In fact, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has also spoken up on the Byculla jail horror. Listen in.
भायखळा जेलची जी घटना आहे त्याचं सत्य लवकरच तुमच्या समोर येईल। आज मी त्याच्यावर बोलत नाही।
Stripped, assaulted and murdered all over 2 boiled eggs and 5 pieces of pav. Now, of course, the latest update in this case is that a special investigation team has been formed. An inquiry report will be submitted by the Women's Commission within the next 15 days. And Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has also said that he does not want to comment anything, but the truth will be out in the open soon. But the big question we're asking is, would a case like this have come to light if not for the high-profile convict or inmate Indrani Mukerjea? There we also have Raja Bagga, prison reform advocate, joining us on the phone line now. Mr. Bagga, tell us this now. This, of course, is a gross violation of human rights.
Absolutely, absolutely. Nothing would be more deplorable than what has happened here. And what is even more problematic is, even after something like this has come to the light, the arrests haven't happened yet. So we are clearly giving a free hand. The audacity of the jail officials to commit such a deplorable act has not been strict action taken against it. So it's extremely problematic.
Also, do comment on the fact that in Maharashtra, especially, a 5-member committee was constituted for jail reforms. A number of things were, brought up by the 5-member committee, but none of that has been implemented.
Absolutely, and so there are two things. One is that this, and in fact, even as soon as today, the High Court did talk about the fact that the government hasn't done anything after the directions were said. But more importantly, we need to realize that there have been committees being set up for the last 40 years, from the Mullah committee to the others that have been happening time and again, and things haven't changed at all. So it would not be even fair to say that the last committee report didn't do much. It's not been happening for more than 4 decades. So that. B, I think you just mentioned how that the inquiry report, the inquiry would there'll be submission of reports within 15 days. we need to also realize the fact that every 3 days there is a death in a Maharashtra jail. So these deaths will keep on unfortunately happening unless it's important to look at this particular case, but also to realize there are bigger changes that are required.
Bagga, then do you also believe that overcrowding of jails is something that must be taken into consideration, at least by this committee? But because if data were to be true, in Maharashtra we just have about 24,000 capacity and there are 36,000 inmates in jail.
Absolutely. So, and to add to that, with overcrowding, there is also understaffing. So you anyways have too many inmates, and then you have too few staff which are not even trained to deal with, to manage inmates. How do you expect then the possibility of a correctional environment in prison? What you would see are clashes, riots, fights over small things happening. So what we're trying to say is, this is a clear case of violation. However, there are many cases where deaths can be prevented only if the government followed what is expected, to have basic infrastructure, to have basic resources, to ensure there is an environment where people can stay peacefully.
Also, in this case, the 38-year-old Majula Shette was, of course, stripped, assaulted and murdered all over 2 boiled eggs and 5 pieces of pav. So tell us this now, how adequate do you think is the money that's been allocated to feed prisoners in jail?
So, usually what you find is the All India average is rupees 86 per inmate. Now, is it adequate? Now, and there have been a lot of conversations that if it's above the poverty line, so are we saying that it is relatively better to be a prisoner? There are a lot of claims made like that. But we also need to realize that there is a lot of corruption inside prison. So even the basic facilities of food and the quality of food that is provided is also problematic. So are we really saying, and therefore it is obviously certainly to do with the allocation of resources, but is there any review of the corruption that is happening in the disbursement of funds? Because prisons are one of the least important constituencies in terms of the government. Therefore, it doesn't really matter if what money is being allocated is being spent or not. That is that's a bigger concern rather than how much funds are being allocated.
You spoke about rampant corruption, you spoke about understaffing in jails, but also tell us this now. The other question we're asking is, if a high-profile inmate like Indrani Mukerjea was not there, would a case like this have even come to light? Now, of course, there is a special investigation team that has been set up. Do you believe now that this will fast-track the case?
There is hope with the amount of pressure that media channels and with now even the executive and the commission actually putting all this pressure. There is hope for this case. However, we need to realize that unfortunately cases like these happen a lot, and it is only because this is a high-profile case, tied to a high-profile case, that the attention has been received. So if the committee ends up only reviewing this case, but if it does not lead to tactical solutions which would be relevant to open up prisons, nothing will change. These deaths will keep on happening and completely away from the public domain. So that is my primary worry here, that you need to have more people from the civil society visiting prison. You have to have lawyers, judges, magistrates visiting prison often so that we know what is happening inside. The media needs to be inside prison. There has to be interviews happening. Unless we do that, we're creating a completely closed setup where we don't know what is happening behind bars, and people can easily get away with murder.
Raja Bagga there telling us there, of course, that it's good news that we have a 5-member committee looking into prison reforms, but how much of that is actually implemented? And the fact is that this case should not be just something that the committee will end up reviewing. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mirror Now. But this is the question we're asking. Stripped, assaulted and murdered all over 2 boiled eggs and 5 pieces of pie. 38-year-old Majula Shette was killed within the premises of a prison. But how many more Majula Shettes is it going to take for the government to push prison reforms? How much longer are we going to continue to have overcrowded jails? Well, away from that story now, moving on. Big embarrassment for the Modi government. Union Minister for Agriculture Radha Mohan Singh was seen urinating in public. These visuals on your screens right now have in fact gone viral on social media, with citizens asking if this is how netas are doing their bit for Swachh Bharat. Well, Twitter there having a field day, of course. Minister Radha Mohan Singh caught urinating in public. This image that you see on your screens right now has in fact gone viral on social media. Citizens, of course, now ask if this is how netas are doing their bit for a Swachh Bharat. Ironically, the very same day these images went viral, Prime Minister Modi spoke on Swachh Bharat. Listen in.
ये स्वच्छता का अभियान 2019 तक हर हिंदुस्तानी का स्वभाव बनना चाहिए। स्वच्छता हमारे लोगों में, हमारे जहन में, हमारे विचार में, हमारे आचार में स्वच्छता का प्रथम स्थान होना चाहिए, और इससे बड़ी पूज्य बापू को कोई श्रद्धांजलि नहीं हो सकती।
Also listen in to some political reactions coming in.
कहीं न कहीं दुनिया में, हिंदुस्तान में गंदगी को लेकर के कई सवाल खड़े हुए हैं और प्रधानमंत्री जी ये भरोसा दिलाते हैं कि ये स्वच्छता अभियान हिंदुस्तान को पूरी तरह से गंदगी मुक्त करेगा। लेकिन उनकी सरकार के एक महत्वपूर्ण मंत्री का सार्वजनिक स्थल पर इस तरीके का आचरण कहीं न कहीं उस अभियान की जो विसंगतियां हैं उनको भी वो सामने लाने का काम कर रहा है। और दूसरी तरफ एक राजनेता जिसको जनता रोल मॉडल मानती है, जो ब्रांड एम्बेसडर किसी कैंपेन का होता है, अगर उसके तरफ से ऐसे आचरण है तो निश्चित तौर पर राजनेताओं को अपने चरित्र पर भी आत्ममंथन करना चाहिए। और खास करके भारत सरकार के मंत्री हैं, उन्हें जरूर आत्मचिंतन करना चाहिए कि उनके आचरण से कितना नकारात्मक संदेश गया है।
कोई मिशन अगर लिया गया है तो वो हर समाज के हर व्यक्ति के लिए अच्छे चीज के लिए लिया गया है, और समाज के जब अच्छे चीज के लिए लिया गया है तो उसमें किसी व्यक्ति को कोई विषय को निकाल कर समाज को इससे फायदा हुआ कि नहीं हुआ। स्वच्छता अभियान चला तो आज आप उसकी चर्चा कर पा रहे हैं नेशनल चैनल पे, ये कहीं ना कहीं नरेंद्र मोदी के कार्यों का इतना सफलता है। अब कोई चीजों को निकाल कर आप कोई व्यक्ति है कि नहीं है अभी तो यही तय नहीं है। फोटो कहीं से वायरल करा देना, ये तो अपने आप में किसका फोटो किसका कट एंड पेस्ट है तो आप दिखा पाएंगे।
Also in the news now, it is a big mirror now impact. We have been showing you on ground the poor quality of roads and how BMC, the civic body of Mumbai's state of unpreparedness every monsoon. The BMC chief has finally taken note of our relentless coverage and has blacklisted 6 contractors for 7 years. In fact, these are the same contractors who were involved in the 352 crore rupee road scam as well. My colleague Disha Shah, who's been continuously tracking the story, gets us exclusive details.
Certainly, it's a big mirror now impact here. Our channel has been consistently reporting on ground the BMC state of affairs and how the civic body is unprepared this monsoon as well. And now BMC chief Ajoy Mehta has finally taken note of our coverage and has blacklisted top 6 contractors. And I name RPS Infra Projects, KR Construction, J Kumar Infra Projects, Relkan Infra Projects, RK Madani and Mahavir Roads and Infrastructure. These are the top 6 companies who have been blacklisted and barred from the BMC for the period of 7 years, which essentially means that they cannot bid for any new projects from now as we speak. And of course, these are the same companies, construction companies, they were involved in the road scam, and this is what it has done to the city. Last year also, this was a common sight, and this year as well, the same 6 companies, they bagged the new projects this time around. And look at the condition of the roads. This is the condition. They had bagged contracts worth 200 crore rupees, and yet again these contractors have given us poor quality of roads. So lastly, when we spoke to the BMC officials, what they tell us is that this is the first time in 10 years that such stern action has been taken against the contractors, and more ever what they tell us is that more punishments, more penalizing and more blacklisting will happen very soon. This is Disha Shah for Mirror Now.
Well, that's all we have for you on the big story today. We'll come back with more news and updates.